Oh, man, now he wants to get in the room.
Yeah. For some reason, we weren't live for a little while. I don't know. I don't know what happened here. That's really odd. I just realized we weren't live. How odd.
We're live now.
Yeah.
Nico really wants to bust in. He wants to give us some sort of message.
Yeah. He's all kinds of upset right now. He's all kinds of upset.
It is this weekend, though.
What's up?
I'm going to Vegas.
I heard.
I will be going to Las Vegas. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous about going. Dude, Nico's going to break that door. Just open the door.
Jesus.
Just open the door.
Yeah, I'm just going to open the door.
It's okay. Oh, man. He's got his ears down. That's when you know he's scared. Oh my God, that breeze feels amazing though. Yeah, Nico, you can stay in here. It's fine. Anyway, I'm going to Vegas this weekend.
Okay.
And it's the first time going to Vegas. The last time I went was like, I think it was the weekend that Vegas was gonna open. Like,
I remember
they were
that.
gonna start opening the bars.
I remember that.
So this is the first weekend that I'm going that it's even more free than it was then. You know, like when it was opening up.
Mm-hmm.
Bars are open, clubs are open again. Luckily for me, Christy, and the party that we're going with, none of us are club goers or party goers of any kind.
Okay.
So we're strictly going to be doing some like just basic ass touristy shit. We're going to celebrate our good friend Jerry's birthday,
Right.
Christy's sister Jessie's birthday,
Oh.
and my other good friend Andrea's birthday.
Okay.
So I really don't know what we're doing fully. I just know that we're gonna. So far, all I've planned out is that we're gonna have a fancy dinner at some steakhouse in Circus Circus.
Okay.
For those of you that didn't know, Circus Circus has a really nice looking steakhouse inside of it.
Wow.
I strictly thought that casino just smelled like piss all the time, and
when was the last time they revamped that place?
it was not that long ago. Actually, they did revamp it. I haven't been there since they revamped it. The last time I went was when it was a trash hole that smelled like piss. It looked like a ghetto ass carnival.
Yeah.
And it was not a good time.
Yeah.
It was strictly just to walk through.
My very first time in Vegas ever, I stayed at Circus Circus.
I mean, it's the cheapest hotel on the strip that you can stay at, I think.
I think so.
And
Probably
it's not really just for kids. Like, it really is kind of an adult kind of oasis a little bit because of how cheap it is. So
Yeah.
I think that's
I feel like even the drinks there are cheaper.
I think it's a common misconception that a lot of people think that it's a kids hotel, that you're going to see kids everywhere. You do see kids,
Yeah.
but they're usually in that little carnival area. Like, that's about it.
Okay.
So we're going to check that out and see what's going on there.
Mm.
4.5 stars on Google Maps, the steakhouse. Like,
Really?
Circus, man.
Little hidden gem. That's interesting. Yeah. I will not be partaking in Vegas this year.
Yeah. Skip it?
Yeah, man. I'm good.
Are you just not ready for it?
I'm not ready, man. I'm not doing shit until I'm fully vaccinated.
Oh, yeah. Fully vaccinated, and then 3 weeks later.
Yeah. And then I'll start considering things.
Is it 3 weeks? 3 weeks after the second shot that you're able to like start like feel you're superhuman then, right?
Yeah. Then I'll be Captain African America.
Yeah.
I told my boss I'll probably be back in the office in June. So we'll see. Just kind of play it out a little bit, but yeah, man. I mean, nothing really. That was it, pretty much. Yeah, nothing, man.
You got nothing else?
There's nothing else.
I didn't send you a link to this
In my personal life.
Yeah, that you can talk about.
Yeah, that I care to mention. No Adventures of Raw. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
I mean, dude, the most interesting radio is always personal. So
yeah,
just FYI.
Yeah, I'll go do more shit. I'm sorry. All right.
There's a Instagram channel that I started following thanks to my friends Fidel and Leah. They introduced me to this channel on Instagram called The Session.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've sent you a link in the past. It kind of sucks though, because like even if I wanted to share it with people right now, so this guy Christian, I think is Christian Saint Han. I think his name is called. His name is. He hosts this show where all he does is he finds a popular song, 80s song, 90s song, whatever era he wants. And the dude basically strips the song.
Okay.
And like it lets you hear parts of the song. So whatever the bass line is, he lets you hear just the bass line. and then he tells you a little bit about the bass line and where inspiration drew from and who it is that's playing it, whatever. The guitar solo, the drums by themselves. But then he gets to the good part where he gets to the vocals. So yesterday I was listening to one of his episodes, and he was doing Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana. I forgot how gnarly that song is.
Yeah.
He makes this rule now, which is kind of awesome, where he plays he's like, all right, we're going to listen to the vocals. Whenever we play the vocals for any artist that has passed, he shuts the chat down, and then he says, we're going to listen to it all the way through one time.
I think you told me about this. Yeah.
You just kind of listen to it, and then we'll play it again, and we'll break it up, and we'll start listening to it and dissect it. So the dude just like, he's on his laptop. He's just got the selfie cam on him.
Yeah.
And just like starts dissecting. And when he played you disconnected my headphones, sir. How dare you?
Oh. Oh God. What is going on today? Oh no, it's the dog, man.
Miko
laid on it. Keep going. They can hear you. I'll fix it.
So anyways, he plays the vocals for Dirty Diana, and it's insane to like hear Michael Jackson's voice, first of all, just by itself. No music, just the voice.
Yeah.
And when he actually like sings that song, there's a part in it where he's like literally bawling.
Okay.
And I never realized how freaking emotional like he is during that song. And I didn't get to listen to the full session for it, where he like breaks down, if he knows any history on the song, he'll give you the history of the song.
Okay.
But it makes me think that like it was some real shit that happened to him and might have actually been violated in some way. And it kind of makes sense to like where, how he became an adult was kind of like in that child's mindset thing. And I was like, okay, like
Dirty Diana gave him the business, huh?
Dirty Diana like made him Dirty Mike. Like she was the inspiration.
Oh God! It all started with Diana, huh?
Are you in the mindset or the wheelhouse of Michael Jackson was a pervert?
In what way?
Like, do you think that he molested kids?
Oh, why you gonna put me on that sort of spot?
I'll go first if you want. I personally don't think that he intentionally did anything to these kids that like would be considered, vulgar.
I don't know. I don't know, man. It happens so many times where you want to go, if there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like he was gullible and he put himself in bad scenarios.
100%.
And that he's a weird dude because he's had a weird life. And people may have taken advantage of him.
Yeah.
Or it could be a combination of.
He didn't know he was doing wrong.
Or he maybe did something inappropriate with one or two of them, but that wasn't always the case.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He's such a weird dude. His life was so weird.
Yeah.
But it's Smokey Robinson once said, you could look at all the hardships that family went through and what Joe Jackson did to those children. But without all that, you don't get Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And but does that make it worth it though? I don't know, man. I don't know, because it really feel like you kind of harmed his voice. And since we're on the subject of Michael Jackson, did you hear the rumor going around about his voice?
No.
So the rumor is Michael Jackson's voice is about as deep as mine.
Get out of here. Like he was just fronting?
It was an act.
All of it?
Yeah, like they said, if you brought him his close circle and friends, if you brought him bad news or you caught him at a certain point in time.
What?
Yeah, you would get the deep, low voice.
Oh, man.
And that he spoke in a higher register to preserve his singing voice because that's what him and his trainer believed.
I believe it.
It's been proven false at this point, but at the time, they thought if he protected his voice by speaking at a softer register, that he could preserve his singing voice to some degree. And so that's really why he did it, but it became an identity of his. So even when he would do interviews, like similar to Prince, right? You hear Prince on certain songs, he's got a high pitched voice, but when he talks, he's like, "Hey, thanks for this award."
Yeah,
and you're like, "What the fuck, like, little 5'2" man." But yeah, so apparently Michael Jackson had a deep voice.
But it's been proven wrong. You said
it's been proved. Well, the reason why he spoke with that voice, that method has been proven that it does not work. It does not matter.
I think he's I think he had that high pitched voice that he like I don't know if you can say like he permanently trained himself to like just have it constantly.
Yeah.
And just kind of like lost the deep voice. I'm sure it's there. Like if I force myself to, you could kind of change your voice high, change it low, whatever you got to do.
Right.
But I think for him, like he just kind of like he just went with that high pitch,
Right. Right.
You just forget.
Yeah. Chemically castrated is the rumor. Yeah, that was the rumor. Apparently they said it's been proven to be false, that he's not chemically castrated, because they say if you're chemically castrated, certain things would not have happened to him physically. Like he would have been undersized. He would not have ever grown into the body of a full adult male.
Chemically castrated? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
They would have given him some kind of cocktail of some sort to get rid of his testicles, man.
What?
Yeah. That was the rumor, that he was chemically castrated, so his voice never, but he would have never achieved puberty, pretty much. And other things would have happened. So that's been actually proven false. Because I used to be in the same camp. I used to think that too.
See, I used to like, okay, so back to the Dirty Diana thing. Mm-hmm. For me, it started making sense that he had that high pitched voice, because they say that somebody that was sexually abused at a young age, their kind of voice kind of freezes at that age.
Okay.
And they just constantly have that voice. So a lot of times, maybe not a lot of times, but sometimes there are like women that have like that little girl's voice, but they're grown adults. That sometimes that leads back to finding out that person actually has some sort of sexual abuse growing up.
So you think Diana?
Dr. Drew taught me that on Loveline a long time ago.
So you think? So wait, you think Diana, whoever her, if that's her real name, may have did something Michael at an early age and it affected him? That's your thought?
Maybe.
Wait, where are we going with this conversation right now?
You said nothing else was going on, so I decided to bring up something else. There's no Adventures with Ross, so
we're fucking talking about Michael Jackson and his sexuality right now. What You Know About It podcast, everybody.
The guy does all kinds of music. It's fantastic. It's honestly a great Instagram channel to follow.
Yeah.
Here's the part that sucks. I wish I could send you the episode, but because it's copyrighted music, he'll only do it as a live. He does it live, and then when the episode ends, it's gone.
What time does he do it?
Daily at 7 p.m.
Pacific?
Yep.
Okay.
He does it every single day. Sometimes he does it twice. I think he does it at 11 and 7 sometimes.
What genre does he do?
Everything. He's done everything from Sublime to Michael Jackson. He even broke down a hip-hop song once. I forgot what song it was. But he...
was it Drake?
No.
No.
He definitely dabbles with, like, the majority of it is music that does have multiple instruments in it, so that you can hear each individual part.
Okay.
When he broke down, what's that song, the old disco song, Do You Remember?
Yeah.
The 21st night.
Oh, what story is in that?
Huh?
What story is linked to that?
I forget, but when he broke down every part of that song, there's so many instruments going on in the background of that.
Okay. So it's more about the instrumentation of everything.
It's everything. Because he breaks down lyrics. He does everything. It's a really cool show. Like, I don't watch every single one of them, obviously, because I'm busy sometimes. But sometimes I'm just not interested in the song. But he's introduced me to music that I at one point would never have like been like, oh, I could give that a shot.
Okay.
Last time he broke down a Michael Jackson song, it kind of reinvigorated me into like start listening to Michael Jackson again.
Sure.
Thriller. He did Thriller, and it was badass.
Okay, I'll have to like try to see, make sure I'm open around 7:00 and catch it because I am interested.
I'll try to send it to you the next time I watch one. I'll remember.
Yeah, send me a text first too, because you like to send me stuff like on Instagram. I don't technically keep my alerts on.
Look, you can take all the alerts off and just make mine the only active one.
It's just too much work.
Oh my god.
I already hate my phone. I'm not gonna lie. I already hate my phone.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to, go off into the hills of, I don't know, somewhere and just disappear sometimes. That sounds depressing. That's not what I meant.
No. Raw is lonely, guys.
No, I'm not. Actually, I'm not lonely, but like I just kind of like my quiet sometimes, Like I'm good. I'm really, really good. But hey, we didn't get together last week, right?
No.
No. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure. But so I ended up doing a show and kind of addressing the various shooting incidents. For the most part, it was the Ma'Khia Bryant incident was the kind of big topic.
She was the one with the knife, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of meant to touch on it a little bit, but it was interesting because if you go back to that video, I actually got some feedback from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got an uptick in views than our typical video. Kind of a bittersweet scenario, right? It took something like that for us to get numbers. But I ended up having several conversations, some of them in private, one of them with my brother. And it's kind of like there's so many ways to look at this scenario, but you weren't available, so we didn't do a show.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested to know, especially with the Ma'Khia Bryant and everything you've heard concerning it, where you stand on it. Just because it's all over the place, and I'm finding different people with different takes on the whole scenario. Some of them just plain out stupid, but some of them it's like it's something to think about.
I definitely think that the Bryant incident was definitely when I heard about that one in the morning, like I was driving home and it was probably like around 7:30 that I heard it.
Okay.
And it was immediate outrage. Everybody was just up in arms. I can't believe they shot her.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one that called the cops.
Right.
How dare they? She was she was on her own property trying to get somebody away or whatever. And in my usual go-to move is we haven't heard everything. Like let's wait, give it a second. Even with that Kyle Rittinghouse, I forgot what his name is already. It was the same scenario where it's like we gotta wait, guys. We don't know the full story. We need to wait to find out more details. When the details came out about that one, in my opinion, and it's not, I'm by no means, I haven't read everything about it yet.
First, I need you to declare that you're no expert.
Because right now,
right now, they're crucifying Joe Rogan for just saying it, just
random shit.
having an opinion about the COVID vaccine.
This is where we dabbled in the thought of never bringing things like this up in the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert, first of all. I don't think that
if that wasn't already clear,
I don't think the cop did anything wrong.
Okay.
I think he saw a threat, and it was unfortunate that it was a girl that called the cops that ended up getting shot and killed.
Mm-hmm.
But she made a move. She was lunging, and she was holding a deadly weapon, and she could have killed somebody. Whether it was deserving or not.
It looks like that's what she was going to do.
Whether it was deserving or not, I don't know. But nobody would know. That cop especially wouldn't know. That cop's trained to put down threats. And that's what
Well,
he did.
also he just arrived,
He just got there and sees somebody with a knife.
right?
Like,
And he sees people literally rolling through the yard, and he's trying to he's got, I don't know, I didn't count, but a handful of seconds to make heads or tails of this whole scenario.
yeah.
Meanwhile, a knife has been shown, a knife has been picked up. The adult gentleman kicks at the girl that's at his feet.
Yeah.
As he's processing that, he sees this other girl pick up the knife and try to run through someone else. Like he was forced into a decision.
And I think that he made the decision that I would have made.
I mean, I just think you have to react on what you see. Like I don't see how this became a racial issue. I
Yeah.
really don't.
Wasn't everybody in that black?
Yeah, but they're saying that he was quick to, shoot because they're
she
black
was
people.
Yeah.
But what I hate about this whole scenario is like, again, this whole accountability thing that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like there was, I think he was the foster dad. He was an older male gentleman there kicking at a girl or a woman, whatever, rather than, he goes, oh, you shot my daughter or whatever. You shot my daughter, instead of restraining her or helping the cop decipher what's happening.
Yeah.
Instead, he's contributing to the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the accountability should be, right? And, I mean, maybe had he just, like, oh, the cops are here and grabbed her, then things play out differently. I don't know. But, when things spiral out of control that fast, someone's life is in danger, decisions have to be made, and then people go, okay, well, then I start hearing, like, superhero TV shit. Oh, he could have shot her leg, or
Yeah.
he could have tased her. Well,
Shoot the knife out of her hand.
Shot the knife out of her hand. Well, here's a few things. He couldn't have tased her because he was told he was walking to a knife altercation. He shows up and there's a full-on in progress situation happening. Everyone's coming at him. He drew his gun. Don't blame him.
Yeah. The taser wasn't going to put everybody down.
Taser was not an option. Right? Second of all, the taser's not guaranteed to stop that person from that motion.
Yeah.
He fired 4 shots. I'm going to say, and I'm not a therapist, I'm not in his head, I'm not psychic. I'm going to say he made a decision to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
He needed a guaranteed stop. Point blank. It's not, I'm going to put one shot into her because I don't know. Then they bring up his resume.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a marksman. Like, that's supposed to be a bad thing in this scenario. No, it's a good thing because he let off 4 shots and he hit one person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing. And this is where I feel like I want to retract some of what I said the day before. So I was talking to my brother about this. Mm-hmm. And I go, I can't stand how people are trying to point this girl out and go, she's such a good girl and a loving person and this, that, and the other, right? And I go, well, fuck all that. Look what she was doing. Mm-hmm. And now she lost her life. I think that was pretty insensitive of me.
Yeah, you said that. That's pretty harsh, dude.
Yeah. Well, because I was looking at it from the fact of, like, she was going to take someone's life.
Yeah.
And I don't...
How good of a person can
I don't want to paint her with roses.
Yeah.
When she was getting ready to do a bad thing and got stopped. Yeah. But then my brother pointed out to me several different incidents in my life. One is when my other brother was assaulted and jumped by some gangbangers down the street. And I left the house vicious, ready to put in work. Had I been approached by the cops at that point in time, that might not have been good for me.
Yeah.
So I've been in that scenario before. And then there was a scenario with our father where something happened with my mom and he lost his shit in front of the cops and I had to physically restrain my dad.
Passion fuels us to do some dumb things
right.
sometimes.
So in that respect, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Unfortunately, she made choices that offset all of that. So maybe this was a good girl. Maybe she did have a reason to defend her home or someone in her home or herself.
Yeah.
But you got to have the wherewithal to say, "Oh, the cops are here. I shouldn't be, wielding a weapon." Or the people that love you should have stepped in front of you and like put that down before something bad happens at this point.
It goes to show where society is at this point where growing up, I'm trying to like put myself in these people's shoes. And it's impossible to like really fully get their vision.
Right.
Or their point of view, I'm sorry. But I was always from the school of thought, and I've never been in this situation whatsoever, even close to it. Where as soon as I see a cop pull up, though, if I'm doing, go back to high school, Edgar. If I was doing something illegal, like skateboarding at a school or something like that, the immediate reaction is, all right, stop, drop what we're doing. The cops are here. Like we gotta deal with the cops now.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're taking over the situation, mainly because I'm scared for my life now.
Right.
Like I just want to make sure that I don't get hurt or go to jail.
Right.
That wasn't the reaction that she took. And
yeah,
that
makes you wonder why.
Sucks.
It also makes you wonder why.
That's because of where we're at with society right now. Like, cops aren't really there to protect us, to save us, anymore.
I mean, is are you that upset or I also know it's like we have this culture of like being the biggest badass, right? Yeah. So like we get as disrespectful as possible. We try to go as off the wall as possible. That's the culture now. So I almost wonder, like, was it that serious to you? Were you not raised to see this sort of scenario?
Mm-hmm.
Or, I don't know, were you that angry? And none of these options are good
ones at all. No.
Right? But it's hard to comprehend because everything tells me, oh, the cops are here. Don't come outside with the knife.
Yeah.
Or drop the knife or stop everything that I'm doing or, like, it's such a bad scenario. But again, my whole point with all of that is, look, man, it happened. And a lot has happened since, right? Before we started the podcast, we were talking about there was a cop who kind of made it into a joke because of LeBron's involvement.
Mm-hmm.
And while I think his TikTok was meant to be funny and meant to have a sort of a message in it.
Yeah. I think he was probably going for, the kids are going to get this,
Yeah.
My message will be received.
Yeah. And it was more about taking shots at LeBron than it was about the incident.
Speaking of which, what did LeBron say?
LeBron went off the handle. Well, he did a few things wrong.
Yeah.
The first thing he did is he said, I'm tired of, he made a post. He said he's tired of like black people being killed by cops, kind of deal. And then he took a picture of the officer in the Ma'Khia Bryant incident, posted it on his Twitter with an hourglass ticking down, saying #accountability. You're next.
Oh goddamn.
So take that how you want to. Obviously, people overprocess. I think he was talking about, because remember the same day the cop in the George Floyd incident was sentenced.
Yeah.
Or was it the day before? One of the two.
It was right around that time.
Right around that time. So that's what he meant. I have no doubt that's what he meant. But some people go like, oh, like you were making a threat on this cop's life.
Mm-hmm.
But where he went improper is like, you didn't need to put him out there on blast like that.
Yeah.
It's very clear, at least to me, he must have been unaware of what happened. All he heard was that this black girl was killed by a white cop. And I think he just went off that premise.
Yeah.
And he spoke out of turn probably. But it just so happens that he spoke about an incident that I don't think he was very informed about. And
it was really early on, from my understanding.
Yeah.
That he mentioned something. It was like the day of or the day after?
It was like the day of. But, he just shouldn't have done that. If he wanted to, he says a lot of unsavory shit that pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, no, I'm really off him right now because you know what pissed me off about LeBron?
Huh.
For real? is the fact that he says, I'm scared to go outside. I'm scared to leave my house.
Yeah, you don't have to. Your house is the size of a fucking block, like a city block.
Dude, like, don't you live in Brentwood? With like a chauffeur and some shit? Like, you got enough money to get you a chauffeur, and you're a fucking Los Angeles Laker. You're the most popular basketball in the last 20 years. You gonna tell me you scared to go outside?
Oh, God.
For real? Instead of saying, like, hey, man, like, I get it. We have a problem here in America. Let's try to, like, yeah, and be an activist for it and try to, you know, instead he likes to take this road of Me Too. And it's like, no, it's not you too. It's for maybe for a short time in your life, it was you too.
Yeah.
18 and younger. But it ain't been you too in a long time. And that's good. And you should be showing people how to get it. You should be showing people how to accomplish what you have accomplished or more or similar.
He's an influential person, like an extremely influential person.
A
lot of people follow him.
He'd rather prove how connected he is to Black America than
to steer them in the right direction.
Yeah. And that bothers me because you don't live that life. I mean, how I know you don't live that life, I've never had a day where, and I believe this was happening during COVID last year. He was in his big ass kitchen with all his kids and his wife, and you pan to the right, and he was having Taco Tuesday, and he had his own fucking taco lady in his house making tacos, and she had a fucking taco truck or whatever the fuck making tacos, and I'm like, I can't fucking afford that shit.
It just sounds like you're jealous.
I am. But no, but like, you living good, so why pretend?
Yeah.
Come down and help. Don't act like you here, because you're not.
I don't know enough about him to.
You know he's not. You know he's not living in the hood.
Yeah,
you know enough.
I don't know what kind of money he's donating.
I mean, he might be donating a ton of money. I know he's got scholarships back in, you know, in the school in Ohio. I'm not saying he's not doing anything. I'm saying stop acting like you in the streets.
Yeah,
that's not you. That's not you, and we don't need that. We don't need that kind of influence. I don't care what friends you got. You know, if you cool with Drake or whoever the fuck rapper and whatever, like, I don't give a fuck about that. like be an influential person. And if you're going to take the time to speak about something that's happened, then do your research.
What's he going to do though?
I mean, he could be the voice of reason.
Yeah.
That's what he should be doing. If he wants to talk, if he wants to have the platform, be the voice of reason. Do your research. What's the next step? How should we be processing this?
I thought people were receiving him well during the George Floyd protests and stuff like that.
Yeah, because he did the research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just this one time that he dropped the ball.
But he put an officer that didn't appear to do anything wrong. He put him in danger.
Yeah.
In an already tough enough scenario.
Do we know what happened to that officer, by the way?
I mean,
suspended.
I have no idea. I mean, I would assume that I don't know if he's been suspended or not, but like usually when there's something like that happens, they take them off the street for a while, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, look, man, if he's any sort of regular human being, which I have no reason to believe that this is a bad dude.
Yeah.
He's got to live with the fact that he was forced into a scenario where he had to shoot and kill a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, he's gonna need some therapy.
Like, he's probably not sleeping well. And if he is, then he's probably not a good person. But I doubt it.
The guy doesn't seem like he did anything wrong.
It doesn't seem like he did anything wrong. But I can tell you that those parents did a lot wrong.
Yeah.
I can tell you that this girl made bad choices. You know, I don't know what those people that weren't supposed to be in this house, I don't know why they were there, if they were supposed to be there or.
Yeah. Like, I'm wondering what the incident was all about. But
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
That's what people are missing. Like, people, like, even on the channel, if you go into the comments, people are like, oh, you don't know the story. Like, that the story doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The cop shows up and you're trying to run through somebody with a knife, shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it should.
It's all about perception.
You know? But they want to lump that into, like, what's happened with George Floyd or some of these other incidences.
It doesn't help that there have been so many incidents recently.
Yeah.
With that officer that mistook her gun for a taser. Um, was that before or after that?
Before.
That was before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, of course, everybody's going to be hot about it, That military vet that got pulled over and, got a gun pulled on him
Mm-hmm.
and ended up getting pepper sprayed in his car.
Mm-hmm.
He was active military, not even military
Yeah,
vet. He
he's
was
not a
in
vet.
uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck, man? Like, there are still some issues that we are actually facing. That one incident is probably the only one that I looked at recently
Mm-hmm.
that makes some sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's scary to me is, right before the show, we were kind of trying to do some research, and the fact that you could type in a YouTube search bar, police shootings, and there's a long list of body cam footage of shootings in the last 6 weeks
Yeah.
for all kind of different reasons. And I mean, I understand like things are going to happen. People are going to misbehave. Cops are going to have to do what they have to do. And, then there's going to be a batch of bad cops and things that have to be investigated. I know there's one incident where we were trying to look up early. What's his name? Andrew Brown.
Yeah.
Where that looks a little fuzzy. I mean, apparently he was trying to run. I think the son admits that he was trying to run, but then he was shot in the back of the head. So I don't know what that's about. Like they're still investigating. I think, like we have to wait to see what happens with that, with the evidence and the body cam, but it's not going to make it any easier.
No.
We know that there's bad cops out there. There was a something that came out recently where some cops, they just recently were fired because they were caught saying that they were just gonna start going around like they want to start killing people and do a race civil war or some shit, and all that. And those cops are now gone. I think this was in Virginia or something, but yeah, there's a batch of bad cops and there's a lot of reform that needs to happen, but they're not all like that. And we do need cops, obviously. I think it's important not to conflate issues just because this stuff is being pointed out. We have to deal with it one by one. We have to be vigilant and deal with it one by one.
I mean, I'm sure this is the reason why you're seeing so much body cam footage on YouTube is just the public demanding that, footage be released
Yeah.
constantly about any kind of shooting so that there is no misconception. And
Right.
that for that particular reason, that exact reason, that Andrew Brown incident is an incident because the body cam footage doesn't start until after he gets shot
Mm-hmm.
or right before the seconds before he gets shot. So you have no idea what built up to that besides the cop's word.
Mr. Lifted says, I think they have police working in neighborhoods that they can't relate to or have any social understanding. Do you mean that they can relate to? Like kind of like I remember back in the day when I was younger, and I don't know. I haven't seen that in many years, but I remember they used to make cops kind of stop wherever there were kids and kind of talk to the kids to kind of just try to befriend the kids to some degree. Like, hey, I'm Officer so and so. I work in this area, and just kind of introduce themselves. So when we see them, they're not strangers to us.
Yeah.
And then they used to give us like baseball cards and stuff, and then I noticed that, I don't know, by the time I was in my early teens that had kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And I wonder why. I wonder if that it was ineffective or, bad things were happening, or I wonder why, but I stopped seeing that. But that's not a bad idea if that's what you're saying, Mr. Lifted.
I've talked to John about this, and how, that could backfire, where you get somebody that gets in touch with the neighborhood and earns the trust of the people in the neighborhood.
Okay.
But then those people in the neighborhood could turn and use that kindness and, end up, backstabbing that cop or whatever.
Yeah. I can see where that could be very dangerous for the cop too. Yeah.
So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't kind
Yeah,
of situation.
especially in certain neighborhoods. Yeah,
I think you got to be choosy about which ones you're going to be okay with being friends with or whatever.
yeah. I mean, there's no one right answer, and I feel like people are gonna die on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, and it's gonna be ugly, but we as people who you know lived, are from urban communities, uh, people of color, like whatever box you want to put yourself into
Yeah.
that fits this category. Um, you have to ask yourself, what do you want? And push that narrative around yourself and the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I don't know. I said it last time. That just wouldn't have happened in my house. Like police outside. I mean, it happened to me. Like my brother had to remind me. It happened to me. Right? My brother. I mean, my dad got out of hand, and I had to stop him
Mm-hmm.
because we all lose our cool.
Yeah.
Shit happens, and he understood. What was happening, and like we have to do that for each other. We can't just say cops should do this and do that, because remember that guy wants to go home too.
Yeah.
And in this case, it wasn't even about him. It was about someone else was in danger. So he had to make a choice for other people. As a result, someone lost their life, and that's sad. So I don't want to downplay that. I don't want to downplay Ma'Khia's life being lost. Rest in peace. And I don't want to see that ever happen again. But that's the reason why I want to have the tough conversation about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. And when it comes to like our athletes, right? Like it gets so touchy, right? With this whole, it's so funny when this stuff happens. I see derivatives of shut up and dribble, right? Remember that whole incident?
Shut up and dribble
Yeah.
with.
Where the news reporter was like, forgot. I think it was LeBron James. Also, someone said something, and one of the news outlet people was like, "Shut up and dribble," like pretty much like you have no place to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I see things like that concerning this LeBron James scenario, and that's not where I want to go either. Like, just because you're an athlete or someone in Hollywood doesn't mean that you shouldn't have an opinion. It just means that you need to be careful.
Yeah.
You need to be responsible about the message you're sending, especially because you also don't have to go live in those neighborhoods, right? Like anytime LeBron James doesn't want to drive, he doesn't have to drive.
But it's also better than just sending love and condolences and prayers, because I can't stand that shit. Like, like, oh, I'm gonna just send some love out to the family. Like, dude, like, just hold it. Like, we know that you care.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like with this whole social media thing, I feel like we're so outward about stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to hear that you, Mr. Celebrity, are sending condolences to so-and-so's family. Like, go make contact.
Yeah.
I don't need to ever hear that you did that. I don't need to hear that you donated money or that you paid for the funeral.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to hear that through your publicist. If the family shares that information and says, hey, Mr. So-and-so did this, thank you, then that's great. But I feel like everything is so outward now. And I don't know. It's such a show.
Do it for the gram.
Yeah. But you're right though. Like you're right. Like I don't necessarily need to see that. But I mean, hey, like if he's doing, I don't want to deter anyone or make it sound like I'm against, people in the entertainment industry getting involved. I think that's the best people to get involved, especially because they can put money into things, start causes, and do things that we can't do on our own. They can start initiatives. They have influence and a following.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were going to be a leader in that sense, like how you say you want to be, then do that versus, send these convoluted messages and then, backtrack them and not even have the nerve to actually pull back and say, hey, emotions were high. I said the wrong thing. just based on everything that's going on. Because man, like we got, what was it? The George Floyd verdict, Adam Trelito, the whole thing in uh, with the Army lieutenant and a couple other things, and then Ma'Khia Bryant, like all in 1 week.
Yeah.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
2 weeks. The last 2 weeks have been very jam packed with very similar news stories.
Yeah. I mean, it's on YouTube. Like I was in awe, right? When I typed in that Google search, and I was like, is it that many?
Yeah.
Is it that, it's out there like that? Like, and that makes me scared to go outside because I'm a regular person.
I'm just glad there's awareness around it. I mean, it's nice to see so many like bystanders not be so scared to pull out their cell phones and record things now. I don't know if you saw what happened in Westminster recently with that officer that they ended up handcuffing this woman that apparently she was high, but she was like having like a verbal altercation with some Asian woman that went to go try to catch her dog that got outside or something.
Okay.
It was a Latina woman that was high. So cops came, arrested her, sat her down on the grass, and then there was 3 officers that were around, and I guess they tried to like stand her up while she was in her cuffs. And as she was getting up, she must have taken a misstep, or supposedly she spit in the officer's face or something.
Okay.
So the officer punched her 3 times in the face while she was handcuffed. While she after she had fallen back down already, like he was punching her for no reason. She wasn't fighting back. Like the other 2 officers that were next to him, like pushed him off of her and was like, no, stop. Well, luckily there were 2 people that were filming the entire incident. So that cop got put on administrative leave like right away, but we haven't heard the fallout from that yet. The city of Westminster put out like a press release about it though. They were quick about it. They wanted to make sure they got ahead of it because it does not look pretty.
Wow.
So whether we have body cam footage or not, hopefully there's going to be a bystander nearby that catches something.
I mean, is that what it's come to? Is every time that we see
snitching, yes,
cops got somebody pulled over, people should pull out cameras?
I mean, it sounds like that's what we have to do, just to make sure that,
But you see how this is like going on both sides? Like we just talked about an incident where the cop probably didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And then now here's an incident where a cop is like out of hand, assaulting. Like, yeah, she spit on you.
Yeah.
I believe that's assault on her. So give her another charge and go about your business. And I know as a human being, that's hard.
Yeah.
If someone spit on me, I would want to punch them in their face.
So that's an interesting scenario. Let's say the incident with Ma'Khia was recorded by a bystander.
It was.
The full altercation.
It was.
Where we saw what happened, who instigated what.
Oh, like from the inside? Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
we got the full story.
Okay.
Officer shows up, shoots her because she's the one with the knife, tries to lunge at somebody. Does the officer still get in trouble? I'm not talking about with the public. There's going to be an outcry. The public's definitely going to lose.
If you magically could have a movie camera that showed everything inside from a different perspective up to when the cops got there, it doesn't fucking matter.
I think he still would be.
What matters is what
job.
What happened when he arrived.
Yeah. Like I think he still would be rolled in as
the only way it plays out differently is where he has time to make if let's say everyone was standing still and just arguing, right, and talking, and he was on scene, he established a little bit of control, and let's say she goes to pick up a knife, he could have maybe then physically stepped in front of her, he could have then maybe put out his taser instead of his gun. Like the scenario was just way different.
It's ultimately what's going to go on the police report. The police report is going to say, I saw a woman lunge at somebody else with a knife, so I shot her.
Yeah.
Not,
yeah.
I showed up and apparently she had, borrowed her bread maker and didn't return it or something. And So I accidentally
Yeah,
shot the wrong person.
all that,
like
like the
that doesn't
story,
happen.
whatever happened anytime before he showed up, it does not matter because that's not what he was there reacting to.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter. That's like saying like, oh, I don't know. I broke into a house and beat up one person, raped another person, stole a bunch of shit. And because when I walked outside, the cop that showed up saw me walk outside, but I wasn't doing anything. He just didn't even approach me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the response is important, right? Like, and I don't know if that was a good example, but like, it matters. Like he can only react to what's happening in front of him. You know what I mean? So, that's how it played out right in front of him in a matter of a couple hot seconds. He got forced into a decision and, he saved a life.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. But it is what it is. But yeah, man. No, I just wanted to get your take on that because, we didn't get to talk last week. So that was kind of crazy. But I was also going to ask you about shit. It just happened too. Why can't I think of it? You were making your point and it was in my head just now. George Floyd, I don't care about the Rudy Giuliani thing.
Everybody's just jealous of me.
I don't know, man. I don't know about any of that. I'm
talking about how how LA somehow managed to get into the yellow tier, but somehow Orange County did not.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I knew it had something to do with COVID.
Yeah.
Since we are in that realm.
Yeah.
And we just finished giving heavy opinions on things. Joe Rogan is on the hot seat right now. By the way, we are not experts. We are not experts. We're just two people with an opinion and, just trying to, share and make the world better. So if you think differently, we'd like to hear it actually.
That's what the comment section's for.
That's what the comment section's for. Thank you, Mr. Lifted.
And Gordon.
But I know Gordon, so it don't count.
Mr. Lifted too. That's Mike.
Huh?
Mr. Lifted is Mike.
Oh, is that Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. He should have put Mike. But yeah. Joe Rogan's on the hot seat. Have you heard about this?
No, I have not.
Okay. So Joe made a comment saying, if you're young, fit, in shape, you work out, he doesn't believe it's completely necessary for you to go get the COVID vaccine. He did say he's not against it and that if you want to get it, it's fine. But it's not necessarily he feels it's a must.
Okay.
And he pretty much got crucified over it. Is what happened. And for me, my take on that is plain and simple. Joe Rogan does not claim to be a
doctor,
a professional of any kind. He was literally giving his personal opinion. Right? I mean, this is someone who has been a TV show host.
Yeah.
A martial arts enthusiast, a weed smoker, and a podcaster.
Yeah.
None of those things are bad. But he calls it the way he sees it. Like, this is where I'm at with it. And Dr. Fauci and a bunch of people are like all up in arms and they go, Joe Rogan needs to retract his statement. He needs to walk it back. And like people are just like, oh, like he's spreading misinformation. And in my eyes, I'm like, this is one person, one opinion. It doesn't matter how many people are listening to his show. Like, I don't do what Joe Rogan says. I sometimes agree with him. I sometimes don't. I actually listen to his podcast because I find him entertaining.
Yeah.
I
I think I find his guests entertaining.
I find his guests entertaining.
The
also.
information that he gets out of them.
Yes.
That's what's interesting.
Yes, I especially like when he talks to like scientists.
Yeah. He gets them to like teach him shit.
Yeah, and he always comes up with some pretty good questions or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's his opinion, and that's his opinion, right? He stated it. He didn't say, "Hey, no one go get this vaccine. It's full of microchips, and they're gonna turn you into RoboCop, and whatever the fuck else."
Yeah.
He didn't say any of that. He just said, "This is my opinion. If someone were to ask me, this is the conversation I would have."
I would say that it was irresponsible to say something like that.
You think it was irresponsible for him to say it?
I think it is because of how much of an influence he has, how much of a following he has.
But it's his opinion.
What if Donald Trump said it?
That's different.
Why is it different?
Because Donald Trump is the former president of the United States. His words are actionable. We're supposed to be able to trust him to lead the country. This is the reason why we listen to their debates and their speeches and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Because we're supposed to believe what they say, because there's been research, whether done by him, his people, that what he says is true, factual, and things he intends to do and make good on. So it's like talking to your parent, almost, in a weird sense. That's probably a bad comparison.
That's a really bad comparison.
but you're supposed to trust him in such a sense.
Yeah,
So it's different when he says something versus when I'm hearing the sole opinion of an entertainer. Like he's never pretended to say, "I got the inside scoop on this. Do not do this. This is bad." He never said that. He said, "This is my stance on it.
Yeah.
And if someone individually asked me this and I know this about this person, I would say this is my stance."
But he didn't say he wasn't an expert.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He says it all the fucking time.
He
even throws in there like, "I smoke weed. I am not the person you should listen to."
I assumed that he didn't because of what you told me to say.
I'm just saying we have to be very extra vigilant in saying that, because I don't want to end up in people's crosshairs like how he did. Because apparently people don't get it. Like that was his opinion. He's not spreading propaganda.
Yeah.
If he was actually going out there and say, "Hey guys, don't do this because blah blah blah," and then I'd be like, "Okay, that's really irresponsible."
I think it would have been wise for him to probably just kind of put more emphasis on the fact that, he's not an expert. He's not. This is strictly my opinion. Like, I just don't think that, we don't need to get the vaccine. If
now the phrase in question, I don't know. I didn't hear it because I haven't listened to that episode yet. But usually before he says stuff like that, he usually says that.
Yeah.
He goes, "Hey."
Yeah, I've heard him say it.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm nobody, whatever, but this is what I would say."
Yeah.
And I mean, fuck, man. Like, I say things all the time that aren't, exactly the same as everybody else. And
yeah.
I mean, if you could blow him off like you blow anybody else off.
Look, right now we have 5 listeners.
At the moment.
I'm not worried about it.
Right. Well, I mean, you just don't know, right? Like again, like the last video about Makai or whatever, that's got 160 views, I think, last I checked.
Yeah.
With a bunch of people commenting that I don't know. So you have to always remember that there's a possibility as we do this, and this is just 5 viewers live right now.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not worried about it right now. Like, it's just, I don't.
When this goes on, on the podcast,
I don't care if anybody gets the vaccine. Like,
you do you.
I'll get it if you want. If it makes you feel comfortable, get it. That's why I got it, because it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Makes my family feel better.
It's everyone's personal, and even down to which injection you get. Yeah. I've got opinions on all 3 of them. And I got a specific one because I have an opinion. But that's my opinion. Right? I know people who've gotten all 3. I mean, there's only one of them I wouldn't get, and I actually know somebody that got it, and I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, why would you do that? But the fuck do I know? For all I know, 3 years from now, I'm gonna fucking have cancer from my Pfizer vaccine, and she's gonna be fine with her fucking Johnson & Johnson.
But what if I'm growing a tail right now?
Right. I'm telling you, like, I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding when I say Captain African America, okay? Like, I'm going to jump high and do some acrobatic shit.
No, man, you're just going to, like, lose your feet. You have to amputate one of your legs.
Nah, man. I need both my legs. I can't do certain things that I want to do without 2 legs.
Like walk?
That would be number 1. I like to, when I'm asleep, I like to like kick my sheets off with my feet. And if I only got 1 foot, it makes it that much harder.
It's gonna go off to one side.
I even mastered the ability to bring the sheet closer to me with my feet.
Oh my God.
Instead of like getting up and sitting up and pulling it.
Oh God.
I'll be lazy when I'm asleep, man. Like if I'm in a comfortable spot, I'm like, but I want my blanket. I'm telling you, I just got to get it waist high and I can reach it. And we're good.
We got severely off topic here.
We did, but it's okay.
I'd say this is a good place to end it.
This is a good place to end it. But I mean, hey, man, I just have to let you know about my little talents
Your
right
situation.
there. Yeah.
Your little toe situation. I get it. You have magical toes, apparently.
I ain't say all that, man. You getting out of pocket. Man, are we back next week?
We should be. I mean, I'll recount my trip to Vegas and let you guys know what that's like right now.
Oh, man. Hey, you should do a Instagram live in Vegas.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know what the reception's like out there. Certain parts of casinos and stuff. If it's doable, I'll definitely try to, but it's going to be loud everywhere I go.
Well, I mean,
I already know.
You could even do a recap like from the hotel room.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sober.
I just want I just want a Snapchat, Instagram, a video
to the Wukai podcast story
of Jerry fucked up.
Done.
That's all I want.
Done.
I want that for my birthday.
You want that for your birthday?
Yep.
Okay. Since you didn't get Black Widow, I'm going to give you that.
Yep. That's all I want. That's all I want.
All right.
I'll be a happy man. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude another episode of the What You Know About It podcast. Thank you for checking us out. As Edgar said, our 5 live viewers right now.
They're dropping like flies too.
No, they're back up to 5.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back. Whoever that is.
Yeah, but no, we really appreciate it. Growing channel, but we get our views usually through the listening app. That's where most of our views still come from. And we're still growing here on YouTube, so it's okay. So, I mean, hey, you got to start somewhere. All good.
Yeah, we're just having a conversation.
But do us a favor, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, whether you're on YouTube, any of the audio listening apps. Like, share with a friend. Let them know we out here, and we're just trying to have some good entertainment here. If you could do that, that would be helpful. If you've got a show topic, show idea, hit us up on WUKAI podcast@gmail.com, or as the Panic Hispanic likes to say,
Okay.
podcast@gmail.com.
And if you learned anything about car maintenance today,
man, that was really good though, man. I had no idea. Hit us up.
Send you some YouTube videos.
The website's up. www. I always wonder if I say enough W's. www.wukaipodcast.com. You'll find links to all our current and past episodes, a couple of videos.
I feel like you shouldn't have to say the W's, actually.
Okay, well,
just
fine.
go to WuKaiPodcast.com.
Okay, WuKaiPodcast.com.
If you guys don't know that you need to put www, or that you don't even have to put it in.
Hey,
whatsoever.
some people don't know. What if some 65-year-old man is listening to the podcast right now?
I don't remember the last time that I typed in.
I don't either, but like that, people are out there.
.com.
People are out there that need that kind of assistance.
Even when I get to like to
I know my parents need to still hear www. I'm being for real. Oh, Gordon said he's gonna be in Vegas too.
Al Gore. Oh, I thought you said Al Gore said he's gonna be. I was like, why do you care? Al Gore's gonna be there.
Now my brother said he's gonna be in Vegas.
Gordon, if you see me, say hi.
They said they're gonna be in Circus, Gordon.
Just for the steak.
At the steakhouse, and then they gonna reserve a room. That's what they really saying. They just don't want to say it out loud. Oh my God. Yeah, y'all should link up for real.
At Al Gore.
Oh shit. But hit us up if you know us personally. Hit us on the hip.
On the the hip.
Yeah,
Oh my
on the hip.
god.
Hit us on the hip. No,
Just wrap it up.
oh man, you ain't man. But you know what? Podcast.com, right?
Mike's the only person in this chat right now that knows what you're talking about when you say on the hip.
I don't want to talk to you no more. Until next time, be safe, be kind, and live a little bit. I'm done with my co-host.
Thanks, guys.